Every morning before the world speaks to you, before fear knocks on your door, before doubt tries to negotiate with your confidence, you must decide who is in control, your mind or your circumstances. Life does not shape strong minds shape life. The greatest battles you will ever fight will not happen in public arenas, but in private moments right between your thoughts. Lesson 1. Understand that your mind is a muscle. If you don't train it, it weakens. If you don't challenge it, it becomes lazy. Comfort is not a reward, it is a trap. Growth requires friction. Each morning, choose difficulty over ease because ease steals your future quietly. Lesson 2. Discipline is not punishment, it is self-respect. When you wake up early, when you commit to what others avoid, you are telling your mind, I am in charge. Motivation is unreliable. Discipline is loyal. Train your mind to act without needing applause. Lesson 3. Responsibility is power. The moment you stop blaming the world, you gain control over your life. Excuses feel good temporarily, but they rob you permanently. A mature mind says, this is on me, and because it's on me, I can change it. Lesson 4. Fear is not your enemy, unpreparedness is. Fear shows up when your mind knows you're capable of more but unwilling to prepare. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I avoiding because it scares me? That is exactly where your growth lives. Lesson 5. Your habits are louder than your dreams. A powerful mind understands that success is not built on inspiration, but on repetition. What you do daily becomes who you are eventually. If your mornings are chaotic, your future will be the same. Lesson 6. Learn to be alone with your thoughts. Silence is where clarity lives. A distracted mind is easy to control, but a focused mind is dangerous in the best way. The more time you spend mastering your inner world, the less the outer world can shake you. Lesson 7. Control your emotions, or they will control you. Emotional intelligence is strength. Anger, jealousy, and impatience are signs of an untrained mind. A strong thinker responds. A weak thinker reacts. Lesson 8. Delay gratification. Everything meaningful in life requires waiting, effort, and sacrifice. Your mind must learn that short-term pleasure often leads to long-term regret, while short-term pain builds long-term freedom. Lesson 9. Feed your mind before you feed your body. What you read, watch, and listen to in the morning programs your subconscious. If you consume chaos, you will think chaotically. If you consume wisdom, your mind sharpens. Lesson 10. Failure is education, not humiliation. A strong mind studies failure instead of hiding from it. Every loss carries a lesson, and every lesson carries leverage. The only real failure is refusing to learn. Lesson 11. Protect your self-talk. The voice you speak to yourself with becomes your reality. If you wouldn't say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. A powerful mind speaks with honesty, not cruelty. Lesson 12. Live with purpose, not pressure. Pressure comes from comparison. Purpose comes from clarity. Each morning, remind yourself that you are not here to compete with others, but to become the strongest version of yourself. Build your mind every morning and life will meet you differently. When your thinking changes, your decisions change. When your decisions change, your habits change. And when your habits change, your destiny has no choice but to follow. Train your mind, respect your potential. And remember, nothing changes until the way you think does. Every morning, before you check your phone, before you listen to the noise of the world, you must remember one truth. Your mind is a muscle. And like any muscle, it responds only to how you train it. If you neglect it, it weakens. If you overprotect it with comfort, it becomes soft. Life does not reward a soft mind. A strong mind is not born, it is built. Slowly, intentionally, and often uncomfortably, most people wake up and immediately surrender control of their thinking. They let social media decide their mood, yesterday's failures decide their confidence, and tomorrow's worries decide their energy. That is mental laziness. A trained mind does the opposite. It challenges itself early because the morning sets the psychological tone for the entire day. What you allow into your mind first becomes the foundation of your actions later. Comfort is dangerous because it feels harmless. It whispers, rest a little longer, avoid the hard thought, delay the effort. But comfort does not protect your future. It quietly steals it. Growth demands resistance. Just as muscles grow by tearing and rebuilding, your mind grows by facing difficulty, discipline, and discomfort. The moment you stop challenging your thinking, your potential begins to shrink. A strong mind asks hard questions. It reflects instead of reacts. It seeks understanding instead of validation. Every morning is an opportunity to sharpen that mental edge. Reading something challenging, thinking deeply, planning deliberately, or simply sitting in silence with your thoughts. These are exercises for the mind. They stretch your thinking and force clarity where confusion once lived. Weak minds crave ease. Strong minds crave progress. And progress rarely feels comfortable. The people who rise are not more gifted. They are more mentally trained. They've taught their minds to stay focused when distraction is tempting, to stay disciplined when motivation disappears, and to stay calm when pressure arrives. If you want to change your life, start by changing how you train your mind each morning. Don't ask for an easier day. Build a stronger mind. Because when your mind is strong, challenges don't intimidate you. They introduce you to who you're becoming. Discipline is often misunderstood. People hear the word and think of restriction, punishment, or a loss of freedom. In reality, discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is the decision to honor your future over your present comfort. Every morning, discipline asks you a simple but powerful question. Do you control your actions, or do your impulses control you? Motivation is emotional. It rises and falls. Some days it shows up strong, other days it disappears without warning. Discipline, on the other hand, does not depend on how you feel. It operates on commitment. A disciplined mind understands that feelings are temporary, but standards must be permanent. You don't wake up disciplined. You practice discipline until it becomes part of who you are. When you get up early, when you do the work before you feel ready, when you stay consistent, without external validation, you are reinforcing a powerful psychological message. I can be trusted with responsibility. That trust builds confidence. Real confidence doesn't come from praise. It comes from knowing you do what you say you will do, even when no one is watching. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates freedom. An undisciplined mind feels free in the moment, but becomes enslaved to regret, stress, and missed potential. A disciplined mind may feel constrained temporarily, but it earns long-term control over its life. The habits you enforce daily become the systems that carry you forward when life becomes unpredictable. Every morning is a test of discipline. Will you repeat what is easy, or will you commit to what is necessary? Discipline is choosing preparation over panic, effort over excuses, and consistency over intensity. Intensity burns fast. Discipline lasts. The strongest minds understand that discipline is not about being perfect. It is about being reliable. You will fail at times. You will feel tired. But discipline teaches you to show up anyway. Over time, showing up compounds into mastery. If you want power over your life, start with power over your mornings. Discipline does not limit you. It liberates you. And once your mind learns to obey your decisions instead of your moods, nothing outside of you can truly control your direction. The moment a person truly grows is the moment they accept responsibility for their life. Responsibility is not a burden, it is leverage. It is the realization that while you may not control everything that happens to you, you do control how you respond, what you learn, and what you become because of it. A mature mind understands this early and builds its strength around that truth. Blame feels comforting because it removes pressure. It gives the illusion of relief while quietly stripping away power. When you blame circumstances, people, or timing, you hand over control of your future to forces that do not care about your potential. Responsibility does the opposite. It brings pressure, yes, but pressure creates growth. It forces your mind to think, adapt, and evolve. Every morning, your mindset sets the direction of your day. A responsible mind wakes up asking, what can I do better today? Not why is this happening to me? That shift in thinking is transformational. Victimhood keeps you stagnant. Ownership forces movement. Even when life is unfair, a strong mind refuses to be helpless. Responsibility also demands honesty. It requires you to look at your habits, your choices, and your patterns without excuses. That kind of self-examination can be uncomfortable, but discomfort is where clarity lives. You cannot improve what you refuse to acknowledge. Growth begins the moment you stop negotiating with your weaknesses and start confronting them. Taking responsibility builds resilience. When challenges appear, and they will, you don't collapse or complain, you problem solve, you learn, you adjust. Over time, your mind becomes sharper because it is trained to look for solutions instead of sympathy. That mental shift separates leaders from followers, builders from dreamers. The power of responsibility is that it restores control. You may not choose your starting point, but you choose your response. You choose your effort. You choose your discipline. And those choices, repeated daily, shape your identity. A strong mind does not ask for fairness. It asks for opportunity to grow. When you accept full responsibility for your life, excuses lose, air appeal, and progress becomes inevitable. Responsibility is not about self-blame. It is about self-mastery. Fear has been misunderstood for too long. Most people treat it as a warning sign to stop, to retreat, to stay where they are. But fear is not telling you to run. It is telling you to prepare. Fear appears when your mind senses a gap between where you are and who you could become. It is not an enemy, it is information. A weak mind allows fear to become an excuse. It says, I'm not ready, and stays comfortable. A strong mind hears fear and responds with action. It asks, what must I learn? What must I practice? What must I strengthen? Fear does not disappear through avoidance, it disappears through competence. The more prepared you become, the quieter fear becomes. Every morning, fear tests your mindset. It shows up as doubt, hesitation, and overthinking. It questions your ability before you even begin. If you let those thoughts settle, they shape your behavior for the entire day. But if you confront fear early, by planning, training, and committing, you take back control of your mental state. Fear also reveals direction. You are rarely afraid of things that do not matter. The areas you avoid are often the areas tied to your growth, purpose, and potential. Public speaking, leadership, change, responsibility, these things feel intimidating because they require expansion. Fear is not blocking your path, it is standing at the entrance. Preparation transforms fear into focus. When you prepare, your mind shifts from panic to precision. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what do I need to do? Shift is powerful. It turns anxiety into strategy and uncertainty into action. A disciplined mind understands that confidence is not the absence of fear. It is the result of preparation. You don't wait to feel confident before you act. You act until confidence follows. Every skill learned, every effort repeated, every challenge faced strengthens your mental foundation. If you want to build a powerful mind, stop running from fear. Study it, respect it, use it as a signal to improve. Fear is not there to stop you, it is there to sharpen you. When your preparation meets your fear, hesitation disappears and progress becomes inevitable. Dreams are powerful, but habits are decisive. A dream can inspire you for a moment, but a habit shapes you for a lifetime. Every morning, whether you realize it or not, you are voting for the kind of person you are becoming. Your habits cast those votes quietly, consistently, and without emotion. They do not care what you intend. They only reflect what you do. Many people believe their future will be built by big moments. One breakthrough, one opportunity, one lucky break. A trained mind understands that life is constructed in small, repeated actions. The way you start your morning, the thoughts you entertain, routines you follow, these are the real architects of your destiny. Habits speak louder than ambition because they show what you truly prioritize. Your mind adapts to repetition. What you practice daily becomes automatic. If your mornings are rushed, unfocused, and reactive, your mind learns chaos. If your mornings are structured, intentional, and disciplined, your mind learns control. Over time, your habits stop requiring effort and start defining your identity. Strong minds design their habits instead of inheriting them. They don't wait for willpower to appear. They create systems that guide behavior even on difficult days. When motivation fades, habits carry you forward. That is psychological strength. Building a structure that supports you when emotions fail. Habits also shape self-belief. Each time you keep a promise to yourself, your confidence grows. Each time you break one, doubt takes root. Your mind is always listening to your actions. Consistency teaches your subconscious that you are reliable. Inconsistency teaches it hesitation. Morning habits are especially powerful because they set the mental rhythm for the day. A focused morning creates a focused mind. A disciplined start reduces stress, sharpens decision-making, and builds momentum. You don't need perfect habits. You need intentional ones practiced daily. Do you want to change your life? Don't start with a dramatic promise. Start with a small, repeatable action. Protect it. Repeat it. Let it compound. Because in the end, your habits will speak louder than your goals and your future will look exactly like what you practice every day.